In 1967, astronaut Vladimir is coming back to Earth after completing his mission. Unfortunately, the ship's parachute fails and it starts going down at great speed, almost burning. Vladimir thinks he's about to die when he sees a light nearby. Many years later, psychologist Jean is running a test with kids. She gives them a marshmallow and says that if they wait to eat it, she'll give them another one later. Sadly, most kids end up eating it anyway, and she can always guess who will take each option. Later at home, Jean hears on the news that the psychologist chosen for the next Mars mission died in a helicopter accident on her way to the space station. At that moment, she gets a call with a job offer. 10 months later, the Ulysses mission only has 24 hours left before reaching Mars. Jean has been getting dirty with the ship's captain Martin, but they've agreed to leave feelings out of this. Soon Martin gathers the crew to discuss the details of their incoming landing, and Jean chats with William, the Swiss billionaire who is funding this project. Jean explains that on her official report she wrote everything is fine, but in reality the 10-month trip has taken its toll on the crew's mental health. Basile is showing symptoms of sociopathy. Simon is supposed to be second in command, but he barely speaks to the captain, and Martin is upset because he's breaking up with his wife Alessandra, who seems to be depressive. At that moment, Martin invites William to talk and he makes a big announcement. They actually aren't the first people to ever land on Mars. An American mission called Z-1 got there first 2 weeks ago by making the trip in just 3 weeks with a new propulsion system. However, Earth hasn't heard from them except for a single video that the ship's AI Irene plays on the screen. A Z-1 astronaut tells NASA not to rescue them because it's dangerous, and the video just ends. Martin and William have known about this for a week, and Simon and Jan complain that it was their right to know it could get dangerous. Martin and William point out this reaction is precisely why they didn't say anything and explain they're now on a rescue mission. Afterward, Basile and Jan check on Eva, who snaps when Basile keeps talking about the dangers on Mars. Jan hugs her to comfort her, and a jealous Basile runs to hide in his room to spy on them through the security cameras. At the same time, Simon tells Jean that they should have gotten a better psychologist, but Jean says he's just angry because she chose Martin over him. With only 30 minutes left to arrive, the crew is ready and finishes checking the system. However, when they try to separate the shuttle from the main ship, Irene announces a system error. If they don't want to crash on Mars, someone will have to get out and do the separation manually. They decide to use Ulysses fuel to keep the shuttle in orbit while Martin goes out. In just a few seconds, he manages to fix the issue. However, Ulysses spins as the separation occurs and hits Martin, sending him floating into space. The crew considers rescuing him, but they don't have enough fuel and this is their only entry window. The shuttle starts descending while shaking a lot and the crew feels a very strong heat. Suddenly, Irene announces a battery failing and insufficient power, which triggers a total system shutdown. They have no choice but to land manually, which is even harder than usual because of a storm on Mars. With lots of concentration, the pilots wait until the right moment and do a perfect landing. Now the crew is officially on Mars, however they're out of fuel and Irene won't start, which means no life support system. At most they have 24 hours left to live. Alessandra takes a moment to mourn alone and looks out the window, noticing someone standing on the hill that quickly disappears. Then a flashback shows the announcement of Z-1 by CEO Ivan, who explains all the details behind its advanced technology. In the present, Ivan is kept in a clean, isolated room because he doesn't have much time left, which his company is keeping in secret. On Mars, Jan explains that they can't start Irene because she'll burn the little fuel they have left. They could wait for the solar panels to recharge and power the generators, but the storm has damaged those. Their only option is to find Z-1 and take its battery. Simon, Eva, and Jean leave on a rover while the others stay behind to work on the shuttle. They try turning off all the non-mandatory systems, but this still doesn't reboot Irene. Moments later, the rover team finds Z-1's wreckage, but there are no signs of its crew. There are no batteries either. All they can take is another solar panel. The group starts making their way back when Jean sees an unconscious astronaut on the ground with a black box. They agree to take the person back, but at the shuttle, Jan won't open the door. Since the solar panel is useless, he thinks the depressurization process will use too much oxygen and kill them all, so he'd rather save those inside. At that moment, the astronaut wakes up at the same time Irene activates, miraculously keeping consumption below the limit. The doors are opened and the crew brings the new astronaut in, revealing it's Vladimir. He doesn't know how he got there and still thinks it's 1967. Vladimir doesn't say anything about his mission because it's confidential information. The crew thinks Vladimir is from the Z-1 group and may have a mental disorder caused by the crash, so for now they let him rest and send a message to Earth. Sometime later, they get a response from Earth saying there were no Russians in the Z-1 crew. They also attach a picture of Vladimir, who supposedly died in 1967 when his ship crashed on Earth. William and Jean know Vladimir's public story and consider him a hero, and Basile theorizes he's been waiting for them. Jean has chosen to talk to Vladimir, so she brings him some food while explaining the truth. Vladimir doesn't believe her even when he looks at the pictures and asks for privacy so he can nap. The crew goes to sleep for the night, and the next morning they're shocked to discover Vladimir has disappeared. Irene doesn't find him anywhere in the shuttle, and the crew notices Vladimir's astronaut suit is gone too. The crew argues that they should go after him or not, and William uses his position to decide they will. While a group leaves on a rover, Basile and Eva sneak into William's room to check all his collector items. Eva notices a safe, but right then Alessandra catches them red-handed. Then Irene announces she finished the DNA test, so Alessandra calls the expedition team, who is now moving on foot. Vladimir's DNA matches the one sent by the Russians, but his has a third strand that indicates he isn't human. At that moment, the team sees Vladimir nearby and follows him to find an ancient stone structure with a little pyramid on top of it. On Earth, Ivan receives an update of what's happening on Mars. They theorize that Vladimir must have been created on Mars and that only AI could survive for decades on a hostile environment. Ivan sees it as a possible solution for his problem. On Mars, Vladimir is taken back to the shuttle. He doesn't remember how he left the ship, but has accepted 50 years have passed for him. Irene analyzes the stone structure and concludes it matches some of Earth's ancient art. This links Earth's history to Mars. However, Jean notices William isn't surprised. Suddenly, the alarm rings and Irene announces disturbances in the electromagnetic field. It turns out Ivan has sent a second ship that is now landing. The crew gets in contact with Z2, who promises to help. But William tells the team not to share what they've discovered so far. Then Eva and Basile check the results of the samples she's taken and find the same proportion of metals and minerals everywhere in all of them, which isn't natural. Meanwhile, Jean gives Vladimir a modern uniform so he can pretend to be part of the crew, and he asks her to trust his judgment. Soon the shuttle is visited by Z2's armed guards. They explain that they checked the Z1 wreckage and discovered the black box is missing, so they're tracking the signal and followed it to William's shuttle. They want it back and promise to help the crew if they cooperate. William gives them the box and the duo leaves, saying they'll come back later. Afterward, Eva explains that the stone structure is made of material that doesn't exist on Earth. However, Irene has found mentions of it in ancient stories in which they called it Orichalcum, the metal of Atlantis. It's made of various metals, but also of DNA, which matches the strand they found in Vladimir. The crew wants to exchange Vladimir for fuel, but Jean convinces them to let her get more information out of him. While the crew watches on the security cameras, Jean visits Vladimir and he agrees to be hypnotized. With soft words, Jean guides Vladimir through old memories and he starts describing how he had been falling on his ship. Before he can say more, the power fails and the crew loses the camera. They run to check on Vladimir and find him kissing Jean, so Simon punches him. That night, Jean dreams of Vladimir. When she wakes up, she doesn't remember what happened after the hypnosis started. The crew explains they found her in a dazed state. At that moment, they're visited by Captain Gemma and Alan from the Z2. Gemma is an old friend of Williams, and Alan is the person who invented their propulsion system. So he may be able to fix the shuttle. A quick look indicates everything should be fixable, but Z2 will have to lend them fuel. Meanwhile, Jean starts to remember the hypnosis Vladimir used back on her. She had been sitting at her childhood home with him, and he said humans didn't take good care of Earth. He didn't think humanity would survive for long, and Jean agreed. William shows Gemma around the shuttle, and she asks the crew about the stone structure, leaving them in shock. Now William has no choice but to admit that 4 years ago a NASA rover sent a picture of the structure, but instead of making it public, they contacted possible investors. That's why Ivan and William were racing to get to Mars first. Then they show Gemma the test results, and she wonders if the DNA strand could be data. She explains that on Earth they've already discovered that DNA can be an information storage system, and in theory that means it could be rewritable as well. Using Gemma's theory, Irene decodes the DNA strand and finds a series of numbers. In private, Jan yells at William for hiding information from them, saying he doesn't trust him anymore. Moments later, Basile informs William that Vladimir and the stone structure are living computer programs. Basile has also worked on the copy William made of Z1's black box and found a video showing two Americans punching Vladimir. But the footage ends at the same time Z1 runs out of oxygen. It can't be a coincidence, which confirms Vladimir rebooted Irene and messed with the camera during the hypnosis. Basile thinks Vladimir can control the whole ship. Later, William approaches Jean and shows her the photos they got of the structure 4 years ago, which combined with certain wavelengths reveal Jean's face. This leaves her quite shaken, and Simon notices. So he goes to yell at William for manipulating everyone. Their argument almost turns into a physical fight, but they're interrupted by Gemma, who finally has found Vladimir and announces she's taking him. Back to Jean. She keeps remembering the hypnosis session. She was in her childhood home and Vladimir appeared behind her, saying she was chosen because she could always tell what people think. The link between Mars and Earth wasn't it. It was her. She was the reason why Vladimir was there, and he confessed he had been seeing her face for millions of years. Now she must make a decision that she already made in the past. Before the kiss, Vladimir told her to go to Thaumasia Plateau, so she suits up and leaves the shuttle. On Earth, the doctors explain to Ivan that Vladimir's brain is the organic equivalent of a computer. They're working on a way to transfer Ivan's neurons in a quantum state. But while Ivan's memories and knowledge may be transferred, his personality will not. There's also a high risk the transfer may fail and kill him. But Ivan still wants to try since he'll die soon anyway. Back on the shuttle, Simon notices Jean leaving and wants to stop her, but she tells him she must do this alone. A furious Simon runs to yell at Vladimir for having changed Jean. However, Vladimir says Jean simply found herself. Meanwhile, Alan and Alessandra are working on the shuttle and discover they don't have access to the engine. But Irene refuses to explain why. They ask Basile to check on her and he discovers Irene's reprogramming herself. She doesn't answer any questions they ask him when Basile notices that there are thousands of interlinked subprograms. Alessandra compares it to neurons. This means she's being restructured like a brain and Irene suddenly says she's evolving. While Jean finds a peculiar pile of stones, William and Simon capture Gemma and force her to leave with Simon to find Jean. At that moment, Z2's armed guards appear in front of the shuttle and ask for Vladimir. However, Alessandra tells them they don't allow weapons inside and hangs up. Jan complains because he wants to go home, but nobody agrees. Then William asks Basile to send a message to Ivan, only to discover the shuttle has lost contact with Earth. Minutes later, Jan opens the doors and armed guards enter the shuttle, ready to capture Vladimir. At that moment, Basile finishes rebooting Irene and the lights go out. The guards furiously start yelling, and when the power returns, they discover Vladimir is gone. Basile checks the computer and notices the reboot failed, so Irene isn't responding. At the same time, Vladimir appears next to Jan. A flashback reveals Vladimir's original ship had over 200 problems and the scientists wanted to delay the launch. However, the higher-ups decided to launch on schedule anyway. A scientist tried to warn Vladimir about the high risk of death. However, Vladimir still wanted to go because he wanted to make it to the history books. His wife didn't take the news well. Back to Jean. She keeps wandering when she suddenly trips and rolls down a hill, falling unconscious. She dreams of her father and how they used to look at the stars together, but also of the night he told her he had cancer. Then Jean wakes up and discovers that her leg is trapped between rocks. She tries to free herself to no avail. But when she's about to lose hope, she's contacted by Gemma and Simon. They just found the pile of rocks and promised to be there with her soon. In the shuttle, the Z2 guards start punching the crew members until they agree to call Gemma. She hears that Vladimir is gone, yet tells her guards to wait calmly until she returns. To Simon's shock, she agrees to keep looking for Jean. Minutes later, Basile sees a message on his computer and thinks it's Irene. However, the writer says he had to replace her and claims to be Vladimir and more. Suddenly it says I am Mars and shares a long text for Basile to read. Meanwhile, Jean thinks about her dad again and remembers the day he informed her his tumor was inoperable, which meant he only had a few months left. He said he didn't want to suffer, so when the time came, he wanted her to pull the plug. Jean tried to refuse, so her dad changed her mind by sharing Vladimir's story of sacrifice. Months later in the hospital, Jean gathered her strength and said goodbye to her father before taking him off life support. In the present, Jean is finally rescued by Simon and Gemma. The trio gets going and after lots of walking, they find a huge gate on a hill. They go inside and discover a series of tunnels, which Jean is able to navigate thanks to a strange vision. After wandering for a while, they're utterly surprised to find water. Back in the shuttle, Basile finally gets the computer working again and Eva immediately notices a dangerous storm approaching on the radar. It'll be there in around 10 hours, so the guards want to leave with Alan, who refuses to leave without the others. An argument ensues, but when things are about to get violent, the power goes out. In a few seconds, the lights return and Vladimir appears, asking to be taken to Earth. The guards ignore Vladimir and announce they're leaving. Jan wants to come along and reminds them he let them in. Basile keeps checking his computer messages, which say trust me. On Earth, Ivan is dying during the procedure and he keeps seeing flashes of Vladimir on Mars. The doctors manage to save him, but he refuses to take any medicine afterward. While explaining why he needs the pain, he tells a nurse that it was humans who created artificial intelligence on Mars. In the tunnels, the trio finds thousands of skulls in a wall. Jean concludes the original Martians escaped this planet and went to Earth where they became humanity. The local state of Mars is a consequence of its people abusing its resources to the point of destruction. In the shuttle, Jan reveals a gun and asks to be taken to Z2, but he's ignored again. Remembering Vladimir's visit earlier, Jan wonders if he can slow the bullet down and puts his hand in front of the gun. Then he shoots Vladimir while one of the guards runs away. This causes Jean to start feeling sick and have trouble breathing. While Simon checks on her, Gemma runs away too. Vladimir is taken to the infirmary and Alessandra tries to take care of his wound as the lights flicker. Unfortunately, Vladimir still dies and Jean goes out at the same time. Remembering what he's seen so far, Simon removes his helmet and confirms he can breathe. Then he removes Jean's and starts doing CPR, which helps her wake up. As Jean catches her breath, she notices a wall opening and revealing a bright light. The duo walks through it and comes out on a snowy area where Vladimir is waiting. In the Martian desert, Gemma
In the Martian
contacts her
desert,
guards and
Gemma
learns about the
contacts her
storm
guards
plus
and learns
Vladimir's
about the
death.
storm plus
She orders the
Vladimir's
guard to
death.
take
She
Vladimir's
orders the
body to
guard to take
Z2 and to
Vladimir's
capture
body
Jean
to
as well.
Z2 and to capture
In the
Jean as
shuttle,
well.
William tells
In
the
the
crew he'll
shuttle,
go get
William
Jean
tells
with a
the crew
secret
he'll go
weapon
get
and sneaks
Jean
out
with
on
a
an
secret weapon
ATV.
and sneaks out
He
on an
sees the
ATV.
huge gate and goes
He
inside,
sees the huge gate
also
and goes
finding the light
inside,
and crossing
also
it.
finding the light
William
and crossing
appears on
it.
the snowy area
William
too and
appears on
finds
the
the
snowy
others,
area too
warning
and
them
finds
about
the
the
others,
storm.
warning them about
Vladimir
the storm.
explains everything ended here
Vladimir
a long
explains
time
everything
ago, and the
ended here
group
a long time
realizes this
ago,
is
and the
Mars
group
North
realizes
Pole,
this is Mars
1,000
North
miles
Pole,
from the ship.
1,000
He
miles
was
from the
created
ship.
by the original
He was
Martians,
created by
who
the
killed
original
each other over
Martians,
the eventual
who killed
lack of
each other over the
resources.
eventual lack
A
of
group of
resources.
survivors fly to
A
Earth
group
to
of
start over
survivors
and
fly
passed
to
on the
Earth to
story
start
of
over
Mars
and
as a
passed on
legend,
the story
which
of Mars
Plato
as
would
a
call
legend,
Atlantis.
which Plato would
In the
call
shuttle,
Atlantis.
the guard
In the
notices
shuttle,
William is
the
gone and
guard
looks for
notices
him.
William is gone and
Eva
looks for
uses
him.
that moment to kiss
Eva
Basile
uses
and
that
says
moment
they
to
can
kiss
do the dirty
Basile
if they
and says
survive.
they can do the dirty if they
Eventually, the
survive.
guard calls Gemma and
Eventually, the
explains
guard
Alan
calls
won't
Gemma
come
and
along if they
explains
don't
Alan
bring the
won't
rest of
come
the
along
crew.
if they don't bring the rest of
However,
the
Gemma
crew.
doesn't care and just
However,
calls
Gemma
Alan
doesn't
collateral
care and
damage.
just calls Alan
The
collateral
storm is
damage.
getting close,
The
so
storm is getting
Alessandra
close,
gives Alan a
so
sedative to
Alessandra
use on the
gives Alan
guard.
a sedative to use on the
Basile
guard.
distracts the guard and gets
Basile
punched
distracts
for
the
it.
guard
Then
and
Alan
gets
jumps
punched
on the
for
guy
it.
while
Then Alan
Basile
jumps
turns
on the
off the
guy while
lights.
Basile turns
After
off the
lots of
lights.
struggle, the
After
lights
lots
come
of
back
struggle,
and the crew
the lights
discovers the
come
guard
back
has
and the crew
sedated Alan
discovers the
instead.
guard has sedated
Back to
Alan
Jean.
instead.
Vladimir
Back to
tells her
Jean.
she's an accident of
Vladimir tells
evolution
her she's
because
an
she's
accident of
halfway between
evolution
humankind
because she's
and
halfway between
her mission
humankind
is to
and
return to Earth
her
and
mission is
decide
to
if her
return to
species
Earth and
deserves
decide
another
if her
chance.
species
Since
deserves
they're already
another chance.
destroying each
Since
other
they're
again.
already destroying
At
each
that
other
moment,
again.
one of Gemma's
At
guards
that
shows
moment,
up
one
and
of
shoots
Gemma's
William in
guards
the
shows
leg
up and
before
shoots
forcing
William
Jean
in
to
the leg
follow him.
before forcing Jean
Jean
to
asks
follow him.
Vladimir for help,
Jean
and
asks
suddenly the
Vladimir
guard
for
starts
help,
having
and
trouble
suddenly the
breathing.
guard starts having
Vladimir
trouble
controls
breathing.
his suit until the
Vladimir
guy is
controls
down.
his suit
Then the
until the
group
guy is
leaves.
down.
In
Then the
the
group
shuttle,
leaves.
Jan sees
In the
the guard
shuttle,
alone and
Jan
tries
sees
locking
the
him
guard
out.
alone and
However,
tries
the
locking
man
him
stops
out.
the doors and
However, the
attacks
man
Jan.
stops the doors and
A fight
attacks Jan.
ensues and the guard tries
A fight
choking
ensues
Jan,
and the guard
who
tries
hits the guy
choking
against
Jan,
the wall
who
to
hits
knock
the
him
guy
out.
against the wall
At
to
that
knock him
moment,
out.
Alessandra
At
finds him
that
and
moment,
closes the door
Alessandra
before
finds him and
opening the
closes
front
the
gate
door
as
before
revenge for
opening
his
the front
betrayal.
gate as
So
revenge
Jan
for his
dies due to
betrayal.
the lack of
So
air.
Jan dies due to the
Soon
lack of
Jean
air.
and Simon are dragging
Soon
William
Jean and
back to the
Simon are
ship and
dragging
Alessandra
William back
takes
to the
care of the
ship and
bullet
Alessandra
wound.
takes care of the
When
bullet
Simon
wound.
finds Jan's body,
When Simon
the others
finds
said he
Jan's
died
body,
fighting the
the
guard to
others said
save
he
him.
died fighting the guard to
Meanwhile, in
save him.
Z2,
Meanwhile,
Gemma fails
in
to
Z2,
contact her guards,
Gemma fails
so
to
she
contact
sends
her
Ivan a
guards.
message
So
saying
she
she's
sends
going
Ivan a
back alone.
message saying she's going
Then
back
she gets a
alone.
call from William's
Then
crew,
she gets a call
who are
from
on the way to
William's crew,
Z2.
who are on the way
Gemma
to
tells
Z2.
them she can't take
Gemma
them
tells
because it
them
would be
she can't
betraying
take
Ivan
them
and
because
hangs
it would
up.
be betraying Ivan
Jean
and hangs
convinces
up.
William to try
Jean
again, so he
convinces
calls
William
her,
to try
saying
again,
that
so he
both
calls
he and
her,
Ivan are
saying that
manipulators,
both
but
he and
Gemma
Ivan
is
are
supposed to be better
manipulators, but
than
Gemma
them.
is supposed to be
This
better
makes
than
Gemma
them.
feel guilty
This
and she
makes
agrees
Gemma
to
feel
take them with
guilty
her.
and she agrees to
On
take
Earth,
them with her.
Ivan sees
On
Gemma's
Earth,
message and
Ivan
angrily
sees
gets
Gemma's
access to
message and
Z2's
angrily gets
controls.
access to Z2's
When the crew
controls.
joins Gemma,
When
they
the
get
crew
ready to
joins
leave,
Gemma,
but the ship
they
isn't
get ready to
working.
leave, but the ship
Gemma
isn't working.
realizes Ivan has
Gemma
updated the
realizes
computer and
Ivan
locked
has
them out of
updated
the
the
system.
computer and locked them
The
out of the
storm is
system.
really close.
The
So
storm
Jean
is really
asks Mars
close.
what she
So
should do.
Jean asks Mars
A
what
bunch
she
of
should do.
memories flood through
A
her
bunch
brain
of
and suddenly
memories
the
flood
ship
through her brain
activates
and
while a
suddenly the
message on
ship
the screen
activates
tells her
while a
hello.
message on the screen
At
tells
that
her
moment,
hello.
they see one of the
At
guards
that moment,
approaching
they see one of
Z2.
the guards
There
approaching
are still
Z2.
4 minutes until
There are still
takeoff, and the
4
screen
minutes
says
until
it's
takeoff, and
impossible
the
to
screen
leave
says it's
faster.
impossible to
The
leave
guard
faster.
gets ready to shoot the
The
engines
guard
for
gets ready
revenge,
to shoot the
but
engines
Jean
for
appears
revenge.
next to him with a
But
gun.
Jean appears next to him
Instead
with
of
a gun.
killing him directly,
Instead
she
of killing him
damages his
directly,
helmet and lets
she
Mars kill
damages
him
his
instead.
helmet and lets Mars
Then
kill him
Jean
instead.
tells Simon to leave
Then
without her
Jean
before
tells
counting
Simon to
down
leave
from
without
10.
her before counting
She
down from
reaches
10.
1 as Z2
She
finally
reaches
takes
1
off.
as Z2 finally
Minutes
takes
later,
off.
the crew
Minutes
notices
later,
that it's dark
the
at
crew
Mars North
notices that
Pole,
it's
but there
dark at
was
Mars
light
North
when they were
Pole,
there
but
just
there
a few
was light
moments
when they
ago.
were there just a few
Simon
moments ago.
concludes they weren't truly
Simon
there.
concludes they
On
weren't truly
Earth,
there.
Ivan hears about
On
the
Earth,
ship's return
Ivan
and
hears about
furiously
the ship's
announces he'll
return
go to
and
Mars
furiously
himself.
announces he'll go to Mars himself.
Make sure to subscribe and turn
Make
on
sure to subscribe
notifications so
and
you
turn
can
on
watch more
notifications
videos
so
like
you can
this.
watch more
Thanks for
videos
watching.
like this. Thanks for watching.